I just say it.
Welcome to Danu on Fire right here on Hi TV, your luxury channel. Today on the show I have someone who has made a lazy dog a very active dog across USA. And the man behind it, one of the men behind it, is a Sri Lankan who is a vital part of all of this. 46 outlets across the United States. It's
50.
50?
Last time I met you it was 46.
Now 50 across the United States. I'm very happy to have Mr. Roshan Mendis.
Thank you, Danu, for having me.
Thank you for being here. So it's amazing. I have actually, I got a chance to dine at his restaurant. It's fast paced, it's very quick, everything just bang, bang, bang. You have this, everything that's delicious is there. Tell me about this start to Lazy Dog.
Start to Lazy Dog really began out of college for me,
Okay.
where I met my partners his dad had a concept that
Right.
he grew throughout the United States, so I worked there, and we met while I was still in college, university. And he told me about this idea, and I said, just restaurant business is only until college.
Yeah.
After that, I'm going to be done with it.
Yeah.
But then I thought to myself, you know what, it's I'm young enough to take a chance and see if something that I believe in can grow to what the vision that we were talking about was at the time, and took that chance, never looked back.
That's amazing. Lazy Dog, if you've been to LA, if you've been to any part of the US, you would have tried. Have you ever tried to incorporate anything that is Sri Lankan into the menu?
You know, unfortunately, Sri Lankan food is not known as much in the United States as I would like
They don't know
to be.
Sri Lanka as well.
You know, food is the way to introduce a culture.
It's not our fault, by the way.
Not at all, not at all.
Not at all.
Indian food is becoming a little bit more
Yeah.
mainstream.
Bigger space, no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But and the other problem with Sri Lankan food is it's very labor intensive.
Correct.
So it becomes a little
Even to
challenging.
make one kondakaung, you have suffered the whole bloody day. So-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's a bit of a problem.
That is the problem right now.
Yeah. So if Lazy Dog does a spin-off of a Sri Lankan menu, that'd be interesting one day.
Absolutely. I mean, I love Sri Lankan food. I absolutely love it, and it's hard to find good Sri Lankan food other than Mom's house.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think there's so much opportunity with Sri Lankan food around the world. I've seen some amazing concepts in London. Even in Colombo, there's amazing restaurants with great food.
Amazing. So, because you have been having an overdose of Sri Lankan food, we thought we'll bring you here
Perfect.
to Taj to enjoy this yummy place. Now, I have to ask you, when you became part of this brand, Lazy Dog, did you ever see it growing to where it is today and giving job opportunities to so many youngsters to work there, and at the same time creating a brand that is so a part of their culture, their DNA, their everyday walk-in? Did you ever think it'll grow to where it is today?
Honestly, as when you're part of a founding team of a company, you set the vision, and you have to believe in that vision. I look back and think, young and dumb, you think ahead and you think this is what it's going to be. You don't quite understand how you're going to get there, but you know where you want to get to. So looking back at it, did I understand it? No, but did we envision multiple locations and growing a brand? Absolutely. That was the only reason why I did it. My parents, of course, like any other Sri Lankan family, wanted doctors and lawyers and engineers, and I veered off on a different path. So I had to make sure it became successful. Yeah.
Of course. Now, would you? I know that in your heart you are still very much a Sri Lankan. You feel for this country. You are very much updated about everything that's happening. How was that sort of incorporated into your life? How was this Sri Lankan identity remain?
My parents decided to move to the United States when I was a child, in the 80s, during the problems, the late 80s. And what they did back then, because my grandparents were alive still here, was always bring us back every couple of years. The grounded approach to the culture I received as I went back and forth, I didn't realize how much that would affect me in a positive way in life. The ability to relate to a multitude of cultures and people. The United States is a melting pot of cultures. But sometimes when I speak with an individual that maybe hasn't traveled and seen what a Sri Lanka, what a Mexico, what a Argentina looks like, their perception is very different, right? So because of the ability to understand multiple cultures, I was able to use that to relate to individuals as I grew the Lazy Dog brand. And that relatability just builds trust amongst people, and it makes it a little bit easier to sell that vision.
This love towards the country, towards Sri Lanka, has it hurt you?
Sri Lanka has so much potential, has a bright future. It's a beautiful island. I've had the fortunate circumstances of being able to travel several places as you have around the world. And there's a part of me that Sri Lanka is always going to be home, even though I've left as a little kid. And in the latter years, as I look ahead at the next part of my life, I have this calling to be able to come back and help in any way possible to develop the future possibilities for Sri Lanka. So that has been a calling, and that has led me down a path with a couple of different opportunities. While I'm still very much focused on growing Lazy Dog in the United States, I'm someone that always wants to look ahead, and the ability to make a difference in people's lives I was able to see at Lazy Dog, and it's like a bug that bit me, and now I feel like, wow, if I can do that, maybe there's more I can do with my life than just the restaurant business only. It's a great business, not to knock it by any means, but there's more I can do.
Amazing. It's definitely not one of those easy things that you want to get into, because you just need one bad review for this whole chain to just collapse and fall, and it's just a situation to deal with. But we'll come back and speak about what is his vision that he's having for Sri Lanka. When we do come back, do stick around. This is Danu on Fire, and at the same time we're checking out Yumi, this brilliant restaurant here at Taj Samudra, right after this. you to our title partners, Flowers by M. Ceylon, for joining us on Danu on Fire. As you know, if you have a big day coming up, like a wedding that he's flying down for, it could be one of these situations where you're stuck because you want to create an atmosphere that's new and vibrant so that we show off. A nice classy wedding deserves a little finer touches. Well, you can get all of that sorted with the expertise that come your way from Flowers by M. Ceylon. Now, they're located at Havelock. You can come to know more about it at Havelock Mall and speak to them about how they can transform the spaces. Now, they are no new birds in the industry. They have been around for over 40 years. They took their brand and their expertise to Sydney and they created a big brand. Now they're back again in Sri Lanka. So do check them out for more details. But all our guests, we don't let them go empty-handed. We make you feel like you have won a crown.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Flowers
just wave your way out of the show. All right, thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you to our friends at XXL for joining us on Danu on Fire. You can now enjoy an array of clothing. I'm telling you, you don't need to worry about the little bulky curves that you may have. They have all the sizes under one roof with everything that is trending, fashionable, and completely Sri Lankan. Come to know more details about how you can purchase your favorite outfit. Now visit them at their flagship store, if not at their branch at One Golf Face, Colombo. Thank you, XXL, for being with us on the show.
Havelock City Mall, my happy place.
I just say it.
Welcome back to the show, and we are speaking to the man with a lazy dog with him. This lazy dog is 50 restaurants strong in the US, and to know that there's a Sri Lankan who is playing a vital part in this brand is always something to celebrate. I know of Sri Lankans who have seen the better sides of the world and try to not associate with where they come from. We had a bad past and all those stuff. I understand all of that, and especially I think in the US, in Canada and all, we have some Sri Lankans who have a very strong opinion about our past, which is reflecting their present thinking. Have you met them who are quite like, why are you still there? Like, having a separated country is always better. There are some, not all, but there are a few people who have this very strong belief that it's nice to have it separated.
Yes, I have absolutely met individuals like that. And I think you get to a stage in your life where you become comfortable with who you are, and everyone around you, they get to accept it or not. And as a child growing up, I don't think you're able to understand that. And as the years go on and you realize you are who you are because of your past and where you come from and your values that were instilled in you, and success is determined with those values. Our Sri Lankan values are grounded. They're very much a strong family unit that drives you to perfection almost. So I've learned how to take that and now balance and come towards the middle and be a little bit different of a parent myself, having both sides, and hopefully it works. But I do look back and know that if my parents hadn't pushed me the way they pushed me and set the expectations right and trust me to go out and do what I was passionate about, that I wouldn't be able to be sitting here talking with you.
What was your thinking when your parents had to, literally pull you all off the roots and take you all to this new country, start a new life? Even they would have had such a bad taste in their mouth with the fact that, why should they leave their hometown? But everything around them was literally Black July. So you had no choice, because it was just a scary time, not only for the Tamils, but also for the Sinhalese, for anyone who was a part of this country. It was such an time where people were so uncertain about everything. And I understand that could have this immense pain and this unanswered questions within someone. But how did your mom and dad see the more progressive side to it?
I think my parents, what I look back and realize is that everything was about helping us be the best version of ourselves, even though maybe they weren't able to articulate it at the time. So seeing the situation in the country, seeing schools closed, they felt that this was something that they had to do for their kids. So my dad had a good job with John Keels at the time. My mom had never worked a day in her life and was used to the tea estate lifestyle growing up, as well as with my dad. And to make a move, I spoke about this on stages. If you've ever watched that movie, Coming to America, this is a lesser version of that, a little bit milder version of that. Right. But that's what it was, right? So at the time, being very young, it was exciting, but leaving your entire family back, your grandparents, your cousins, and starting new with no relationships and having to build it over the years. Looking back at it, it's been incredible. And I try to keep every relationship I've built throughout my life, and I treat them as gold bars. I feel like once I build that relationship, it's up to me to hold on to it and not lose that gold bar that I have. Because at the end of the day, that's all you have. Money comes and goes. There's nothing more important than making a difference in someone's life and having an authentic relationship with someone.
When you were making this dent in the market with your restaurant, and seeing people coming in and going, it's all about pleasing people, keeping the staff happy. Do you see a work culture that has changed over the years? Like, do the millennials, no, that's us, no? What are they called? The Gen Zs. Do they feel like they're entitled to better things in life? Answer with caution.
That's a loaded question.
Because I'm told that Beyonce watches my show.
I'm sure. That's a loaded question. I would answer it a little bit differently than maybe you were expecting me to answer.
No, tell will you. Even our agencies are also the same. Huh? They also come like, where is my iPad and all. I'm like, please.
Expectations are sometimes a little unrealistic. They've grown up on this device that we have with information at their fingertips. So instant gratification is what they're used to. And sometimes, but they're also mindful of being a part of something that's purposeful. So if you're joining a company, joining an organization that understands what the situation is and is able to communicate and build something real and show a purpose and gain their trust, they're going to give you the best work that they've ever done, right? So that's been something that we have had to constantly evolve over the years and understand and reach out. The bottom-up mentality that we have in our organization and is more prevalent in the US, I think plays into that, where the leaders really feel like they're the bottom of the totem pole and they exist to help everyone else be successful. And that mentality is important because then you don't feel like you're better than anyone else. I wear my pants the same exact way you do, and we're all here in this together, and we'll be successful together, right? And that showing them opportunities, showing them the ability to go from an hourly teammate to a managerial position with no gender, sex, to education, to none of that really matters. It's here's who I am, this is the job I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to get there, and let me help you get there.
That's father of three speaking. Knows how to maneuver beautifully. We're going to take a break. We'll see you on the other side. Peace. Thank you to our title partners, Flowers by M. Ceylon, for joining us on Danu on Fire. As you know, if you have a big day coming up, like a wedding that he's flying down for, it could be one of these situations where you're stuck because you want to create an atmosphere that's new and vibrant so that we show off. A nice classy wedding deserves a little finer touches. Well, you can get all of that sorted with the expertise that come your way from Flowers by M. Ceylon. Now, they're located at Havelock. You can come to know more about it at Havelock Mall and speak to them about how they can transform the spaces. Now, there are no new birds in the industry. They've been around for over 40 years. They took their brand and their expertise to Sydney and they created a big brand. Now they're back again in Sri Lanka. So do check them out for more details. But all our guests, we don't let them go empty-handed. We make you feel like you have won a crown.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Flowers
just wave your way out of the show. All right, thank you for joining us on the show. Thank you to our friends at XXL for joining us on Danu on Fire. You can now enjoy an array of clothing. I'm telling you, you don't need to worry about the little bulky curves that you may have. They have all the sizes under one roof with everything that is trending, fashionable, and completely Sri Lankan. Come to know more details about how you can purchase your favorite outfit. Now visit them at their flagship store, if not at their branch at One Golf Face, Colombo. Thank you, XXL, for being with us on the show.
Havelock City Mall, my happy place.
I just say it.
Welcome back to the show, our final segment. Now, we did speak to him about what is he hoping to do as a giving back, as this thing that he wants to invest in Sri Lanka. I know that you would have seen our political landscape. It's not looking so positive. A lot of people have lost faith in the institution called politics. What is your take on it? Do you feel that we have young leaders who can come forward?
I can't say I'm an expert to comment on it.
But we are all experts in politics. You know why? We make them politicians.
That is true. That is true. So I can only go off of the experiences of what I see and the people I talk to. Right?
Hey, US is also looking like us nowadays.
I understand.
Gunshot 10, all the whole works. We also have old people running. They also have old people running.
No comment. I don't think I'm allowed to comment on that. But honestly, I think if you look ahead, you really have to make the changes in the mindset of a generation. If you look at change that has happened over the years, it began with a small movement, small individuals that were passionate about what it could look like and being able to communicate that in a manner that people believe you and trust you and want to follow you, right? So I think focusing in on the future generation and their mindset is where I would want to hang my hat on. Obviously, I'm passionate about business, about tourism, about travel, about food, about cultures, understanding the differences in cultures and being able to be mindful of what an individual is going through and be supportive versus destructive, right? So all those things in small ways has to be taught to a younger generation. So looking ahead, if I can have an impact, it's a long-term impact. I try to do some similar things where I live in Los Angeles with a couple of different organizations. That brings me the most joy, and there's no money in the world that can fulfill you better than something like that.
Your kids, I know that they're not 100% Sri Lankan, but they have half of you in there.
Yes.
What are their take? Have they been to Sri Lanka?
Absolutely. Absolutely. My youngest has not yet, but my other two have. They love Sri Lanka. The values that their Achi and their Siya and I have imparted on them, they can manage themselves in a Sri Lankan setting.
Context, yeah.
And what I love about it is they embrace it. They don't shy away from it, and I'm proud of that. Because sometimes there's individuals that maybe grew up here even that deny it sometimes, and they have no problem embracing it and being proud of it. That's brings me the most joy, I think.
Yeah. What brings you this time? Just leisure?
No, I actually came for a wedding.
Oh.
Again, a couple of individuals that they grew up. He was born in the U.S. They were both born in the U.S., but their parents are very much. They have so much pride for Sri Lanka. They always brought him back, and when he got married, there was nowhere better to have a destination wedding than here. And I think they've got 150 people coming in from all over, mostly from the United States, and going up for the wedding. And I'm proud that someone that was born there, that this was their
Choice.
ideal place.
Would you ever take Lazy Dog out of the U.S.?
Anything is possible. The landscape in the U.S. allows us to stay within the U.S. for a long time, and the future is bright. But as we grow the brand, it is a request that I've seen before. Sometimes it's a little bit harder. The long flights are a little bit harder. So at the moment, our strategy is to grow within the United States, but eventually maybe.
You can call it Kammeli Balla. And we can have all these street dogs just sitting outside, chilling.
That might not work for my marketing strategy, though.
You know, it's given. Our ambassadors come free of charge.
There you go. There you go.
It's something for you to look out for. Anyway, thank you for coming. It has been absolutely amazing. I'm so happy I got a chance to feature you on one of these shows before he flies out, because it's remarkable. When I got a chance to, my first day in the US, my first meal was with him.
That's right.
There you go, all the first. And it was remarkable to see the place and how it's run, and to know that there is somebody from our side of town sitting there and making a brand so big and recognized. And it's always full, and that's what's amazing and touch wood, and I really hope it continues to be so. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always loving this homeland and always looking out to see what you can do to help, to develop, and that's the most important thing. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
And thank you to our friends here at Taj. It's always home away from home for us here. Me, thanks for the delicious meal that you've given us. Until we see you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You liked it?
Loved it. Loved it.
The dog himself is saying it. Sorry. All right, on that note, we're going to wrap things up. See you soon.
Havelock City Mall, my happy place.